Going on, everyone? So, according to Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports, New Orleans Pelicans assistant coach James Borrego remains a leading candidate for the Los Angeles Lakers amid their coaching search. He also followed up that Fisher reported Borrego is one of three coaches, along with the Golden State Warriors, Kenny Atkinson, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Micah Nori, to have an interview lined up with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, again, we're in this whole just coaching debacle, right? It's just this chaos, this noise. You're getting all these conflicting reports, reports that are like, JJ Redick, he's still the guy. Other reports are like, JJ Redick isn't even interested anymore, which I don't really buy. But no, it's a madhouse right now, right? Because it just, like, Dan Hurley, he was the guy that was supposed to be the guy. And now it's like, well, now we got to get plan B. Now, look, Frank Vogel was plan B, and it ended up leading to an NBA championship, right? So whoever we end up signing as the next head coach could end up being that guy. Maybe he's the next Frank Vogel and we win a championship. We win a championship out of it. I'm all bored, especially with Boston more likely than not winning the NBA championship this season. I mean, they're up 3-0. They're clearly the better team. But, it's technically not over till it's over. But it's over. But sticking with the coaching search, look, James Borrego, him and JJ Redick have been the two leading candidates and the two kind of main guys this entire process, this entire time. Right at this point, it's probably going to be one of them. It's either going to be James Borrego or JJ Redick. Maybe the Lakers come out of left field and it's like Sam Cassell or something like that. I don't believe that's going to be the case. Right? I think it's James Borrego or it's JJ Redick. Problem is that if the Lakers really are interested in James Borrego and they really do want to bring in James Borrego and they see him as the coach for the Lakers for the future, then you got to get a move on this, right? Like, seriously, you got to get something going now because the Cleveland Cavaliers are very likely, there's reports that they're close to hiring James Borrego. And so, the Lakers keep messing around and James Borrego ends up signing with the Cavs, and it's like, now you're at your third option. All right, now what do you do? Now you're in this just position where it's like, okay, well, you missed out on Dan Hurley, you missed out on James Borrego. If I'm being honest, I don't buy James Borrego is the guy. Right? Because, look, if James Borrego is really the guy for the Lakers, and the Lakers were really as high on James Borrego as reports have came out, like, there were reports that said James Borrego had the most impressive interview and he just like had the answers for every question and was just the guy that stood out. Why haven't we hired him? Right? Like, why? Right? Why are we still without a head coach if James Borrego is really the leading candidate and he's the guy? Right? It doesn't make any sense to me. If the Lakers were the only team looking for a head coach, then fine, I get it. Right? Like, take your time. You're not competing or bidding against anyone else. It's just you. It's you, and you, right? Like, so take your time. But that's not the position that they're in right now. And there's the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Detroit Pistons still might let go of Monty Williams, and then there's another head coach. It's just like, come on, like, just get this over with. We're like weeks away from the draft. Like, don't you want to get your head coach brought in, integrated, get him comfortable, kind of let him start mapping stuff out, start working with him on potential draft picks. And, even if you make a trade, which I believe the Lakers are going to trade the 17th. I don't think they're going to keep the 17th pick. I think they'll trade the 17th pick. But, don't you want your head coach to be involved in this entire process? Which is why I don't necessarily believe it's James Borrego. Again, we had reports before the Dan Hurley thing that came out that said that the Lakers want James Borrego to be the assistant. That the Lakers were trying to put together like this super bench with James Borrego as an assistant. Right? Now, James Borrego, I don't think would be an assistant for the Lakers if he'd go get the Cavs job. But if the Cavs job falls through, then yeah, I do think James Borrego has the potential to be maybe come on board as an assistant. But it's just, again, like, something's not adding up. Right? It's not making sense. Because if James Borrego is really the guy in the vision that you believe he is, which, look, I like James Borrego. He's not my favorite. I do think he has a lot of the traits that the Lakers are looking for. I kind of wonder how his offensive schemes will translate, because you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Now, you could argue that he overachieved with Charlotte, but also a big problem was he lost the locker room, and but you could argue, well, you were dealing with a bunch of kids and LaMelo and stuff. Like, it's a big difference dealing with LeBron and Anthony Davis, but it's also been the Lakers' problem with coaches losing LeBron and Anthony Davis. Now, there's also talks about how Anthony Davis wants James Borrego, and James Borrego is Anthony Davis's guy, and the Lakers are basically like, Anthony Davis's word is final. If that's true, why isn't James Borrego hired? If Anthony Davis really is pushing hard for James Borrego, and you like James Borrego, and everything about James Borrego's checking out, why isn't he hired? That's why I don't buy the whole Anthony Davis, James Borrego. Anthony Davis and James Borrego didn't even really know each other, right? Their time on the Pelicans, they were like in passing. It would have been like, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, bye. Right? Like, if anything, they worked together for like a month. Like, it wasn't like he was there for years and they built this relationship and this connection. Like, no. So, like, you have concerns about him losing locker rooms. There's concerns about, will his offensive schemes work with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, because it was very, like, guard, LaMelo heavy, right? Like, and, fast running gun pace type. So, it's just, like, it's like, I don't know, make it make sense to me, right? Because it's just like, Anthony Davis doesn't want JJ, and, there's all, like, and it's, okay, well then why haven't we gotten anybody? We're literally weeks away. That's why I keep saying I believe it's JJ Redick. I do. I believe it's JJ Redick. And look, I could be completely wrong, and maybe they do hire James Borrego, right? Maybe we do get a report, maybe while you're watching this video, and, you get a report that, like, oh, James Borrego's been hired. I don't know. That could be the case. My thing is, like, if they're really as high as on James Borrego as reports have said the last, like, month, why isn't he hired? The only reason you don't have a head coach right now is if JJ Redick is your head coach. Why? Because JJ Redick can't officially be your head coach until after the NBA Finals. Which, I mean, we could have JJ Redick as our head coach by, like, Monday. Right? I really kind of lean towards, like, the Lakers are probably going to have their head coach by Monday. And it's going to be JJ Redick. It's just, again, you hear all these talk, James Borrego. Okay, well, if he's that great, and you interviewed him twice, like, isn't he the only guy that's been interviewed twice? So, again, like, why haven't you hired this guy? If he's really that great and he's really the guy, why? Why is he not on the Lakers? Why haven't you, again, don't you want to get structure and everything in place? Like, don't you really want to, like, put yourself in a position where the head coach actually has involvement? It's where the head coach actually gets to have a say on, which players you're bringing in, trades, draft picks, right? Like, actually start getting familiar with the front office, getting familiar with the players that are going to be on the roster, regardless, right? Like LeBron and Anthony Davis. Don't you want to get a guy to come in and, start getting his staff together? And everything's just so backwards right now. It's crazy. And the only thing I can think of is, if JJ Redick gets hired, it all makes sense, right? Because it's like, okay, all this noise was drawn up by the media. All this noise was just that. It was just noise. It was always JJ Redick. JJ Redick was always the guy. And the reason we didn't hire a head coach sooner was because JJ Redick couldn't be hired till now, right? Until after the NBA Finals. That's the only thing that really would make this make sense. That would be the only thing that really kind of make this digestible, in my opinion. It's like, okay, like, now I get it. Now it's all starting to add up, right? I'm hoping that's the case. I really am. I'm hoping that the Lakers really aren't this incompetent. I'm really hoping that the Lakers aren't really this much of a mess right now. But again, we'll see. Time will tell. All right. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Ask a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think, like, yes, right? Like, the Lakers probably going to be JJ Redick. Do you think, no, it will be James Borrego? And if so, like, why do you think that the Lakers are just kind of playing games and haven't hired him yet? Again, I mean, he's gotten more interviews than everybody. He's been hyped up. Lakers supposedly love him, right? He killed the interviews. Like, it's just, if everything that has been reported is true about James Borrego, then to me, that means there's zero reason why he isn't hired as the head coach. Zero. So, I don't know. Anyway, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So when you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.